Welcome to episode 30 of the Tech Disruptors podcast. And yes, new theme song for episode number 30 there. Classic late 90s throwback, Cotton Eye Joe. I
Is that a
laughed for
Canadian
20.
song?
No, you know that song. I know
I
you know
know.
that song. Number
I
one
know.
hit, by the way. Funny story when I was putting that together for the theme song. It's actually not copyrighted. The band just gives it away for free, which I also find hilarious
That's
because
probably why it's
why
played
not?
over and over and,
And over
over and
again.
over again. Yeah.
Classic. Anyway, we are the Tech Disruptors. My name's Darren. My co-host
Jason.
is this guy here, and this lovely gentleman down the bottom here is introduced
Devin.
Oh, Devin. There we go. And yeah. And we are on episode number 30. We started this journey all the way back in January. That's right. And we're hitting up on September now, going in hard, still bringing you the latest and greatest tech. And we have got quite the run. We were going to. So the story is we have we decided to give us a couple of extra days this week to collate up the best stories we possibly could. And you guys know, for those of you who are regular listeners of the podcast, how much we love AI and how AI is going to be the greatest thing that's ever going to happen in the world. So I want to start the show today with, I think, one of my favorite stories I've seen this week. And you know this one's good. And I wish Dan was on because it's from the UK. It's a UK story.
Ooh.
So this seems like a bad idea from the onset, but let's just see how it goes. So in the UK, they've launched the first teacherless AI-powered classroom. So basically, private school in London have done away with the teacher and their measly knowledge, and they've just simply replaced it with AI teaching. So kind of like, I think it's a little bit like online schooling. I don't know if you guys have that in the United States where students can educate themselves from home.
Do you think we're like in the 14th century down here?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys barely have the internet. So, we
do have Google and we do have Apple.
This is true. This is true.
No, but yeah. So I'm guessing in my head, what I'm thinking about when I hear this is they have Google Gemini or ChatGPT 4.0. Basically sitting on a screen in the front of the class and they can just talk back and forth.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you for a second. So as somebody, my day job is in the space of education. When I see this, I thought to myself,
I need a new job.
No, I need a new job. But I thought to myself, there's probably in every school, elementary school, university, probably a handful of teachers you could probably do without. Ones that are really not that competent in their job. And look, I mean, I always say to a lot of people that even in education, there are people that are not competent at their job. It's kind of like when you go to McDonald's and you go to the cashier and they screw up your order. It's the same in high school. It's the same in elementary school. It's the same. Now, this concept's interesting to me because it's the first that I've heard of where they're doing this kind of thing. So basically, they're integrating both artificial intelligence and virtual reality headsets to deliver instruction. Now, not a crazy idea. We've already seen this in things like universities, medicine, where they're studying medicine, where they're using things like virtual reality to do practice, quote unquote, surgery. And I mean, like Jason said, like, is it really that crazy that we would want to rely upon like ChatGPT or Google Gemini? It has more knowledge than the regular person. Now, what problems, Devin?
Darren, you're talking about yourself.
I'm sorry. Yes, I know.
And I just noticed something. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it.
Well, I was going to ask Devin. Oh, we're both. I just noticed that.
I was just going to say that. I just noticed that. So, as you guys can see, I am both the host and the co-host, and Darren is not there.
Edit? Oh, I can edit my name.
You can.
Hang on.
It happens when we first get in. Whoever's in first has to
I fixed it.
Okay. Thanks, Devin.
But what I was going to ask you, Devin, is what problems do you perceive with this model of education?
I mean, this is my first thought when I hear this is that like you keep going back to it. Like, why are we trying to take AI and put it in the places that make the least amount of sense
Yeah.
first?
Hmm.
Like, I
Agreed.
don't
Yeah.
doubt that this isn't probably some space that it can work, but is this really the first place that it needs to go?
To go, yeah, I agree.
Right?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
do you need to replace your best friend with AI first? Is that the first place we should, like, why can't we fix societal problems first? Why can't we fix
Use
like,
AI
some
for
of
that
it?
reason?
Well, I think
Yeah.
here's my take. So, is this the best use? Probably not. But I think what AI is doing, we talked about this, it's crawling right now. It's trying to find, we had the Rabbit R1, the Humane Pin.
Yeah.
It's trying to find its hardware and or software mixture. We know Gemini and ChatGPT are great. I think what they're doing is this is a test. So
Yeah.
if we can get a successful test in this, whether it means teachers lose their jobs, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if we can get a test in this, it can maybe apply to something more. Maybe climate change or world hunger is just too much right now for AI. So let's start with a small test base of 15 kids and see what it does. I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I think it's just they're tipping their toes in the water. And plus,
Well,
it's pretty much saying, Darren, it's time to change your.
well, okay. I just want to point out something here. Is I didn't get a chance to read to the bottom of this article, but I'm just reading about this fucking clown, John Dalton, the co-principal of
Clown.
David Game College. Now, listen, for the record, that's a stupid name for a school.
Wait.
But anyway,
What grade is this for? Did you say?
I'm going to say probably high school. I don't know, to be honest with you, but I want to quote what he says here. He's like, there are many excellent teachers out there, but we're all fallible. Okay. I think it's very difficult to achieve AI's level of precision and accuracy and also that of continuous evaluation. So basically, he's saying that humans are
Correct.
fallible, which we are, but a teacher's job is to educate themselves on the subject matter so that they're not fallible. And then he's saying here that basically a teacher can't deliver precision and accuracy with their instruction and evaluation at the same time. I'm sorry. I don't even think AI could do that.
AI needs to supplement the classroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, humans are fallible. Duh. That's in our nature. But I think the other addition to being in a classroom with a teacher and students, you're learning authority, rules, learning different styles. And yes, not every kid's going to learn the same way. We get it. But I think if you add that, look, AI is trying to find its footing. But if you add it slowly instead of going all in, I think if you had like Darren, let's say you're teaching an English class and you wanted to introduce AI or virtual reality for a certain issue or certain subject in that's perfect if it works.
Yeah.
But this guy, he's just trying to.
He's trying to move the needle. You know what, dude?
I think he's going to use humane AI pins too.
Oh, that's probably a bad idea. I'm sorry, I can't process.
I could see how this could also be like almost a continuing education thing, or like for certain subjects, kind of like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten different tech certifications or something.
Yeah.
If you told me that I could buy like a GPT that was specifically trained on this certification.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I could see doing that instead of an instructor-led type of classroom sitting for something. Or online, learning is becoming a whole lot a bigger deal right now. But at the end of the day, there's still so much value in like actually talking to people versus just talking to an AI.
I have my friend pin that I talk to every day.
Yes. Yeah.
And when I went back to school in 2017 and actually got to sit in a classroom with people on a regular basis again, like I still talk to some of those people. Like it's crazy how important that kind of thing can be. So
well, and this is the thing, right? Like schools these days, I feel, are already pretty isolating. And what I mean by that is a lot of young people these days don't really already talk to each other.
Nope.
So is it really a good idea that we strap a VR headset on them and some headphones and then they don't talk to each other at all?
But
and then they're talking to an AI.
Yeah.
Well, the flip side of that is maybe that is the future.
Yeah.
I was growing up, my parents were like, oh, the music you listen to is terrible. Those video games are going to cause you to kill everybody.
Sure.
And it didn't. Well, for the most part, we all turned out okay. But what I'm saying is every generation has that issue,
Yeah.
So maybe, yes, the new generations, they want everything instantaneously. They don't talk as much. But like my kids, they interact, but they also video chat a lot.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
weird? To me, yes.
So they
but-
somewhat connect on that level, right?
Correct.
I understand
So
that.
I
Yeah.
think it's just the way the world is. And I'm not trying to say that that's the future. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Darren, calm down.
Well, I know. I'm just saying it's a shame. Now, I just want to another article that caught my attention, actually along the same lines as this, is Devin. When you were in, let's just flash back a couple of years ago to when you were in high school. How good are you?
Okay.
How good were you at math?
I
On a
was
scale of 1 to 10, 10 being A+ student, 1 being you dropped out of high school in grade 8.
I mean, I was pretty good. I would probably say like an 8 or a 9.
An 8? Okay, that's
I was
solid.
pretty good. Yeah.
Jason,
Till
what
I got
about you?
Till I got
So-
to college and had to do like calculus and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
that
the
was-
tough stuff. Yeah, don't
yeah,
worry.
that was,
Yeah.
So
Joe?
I hated math, but I was really good at like formula, like physics, chemistry, all the. I would say probably a 7 or 8, probably.
Okay. Well,
And me and Devin are atypical. I'm assuming most kids, like my
Yeah.
daughter,
Oh yeah.
doesn't like math, and she's good at it. She just doesn't try.
I remember my grade 10 math teacher, Mr. Earl. I still remember his name. At the end of the semester, he comes up to me, and I will direct quote him when I say this.
Oh no!
He's like, Darren, you should probably never take math ever again. Those were his exact words. And
Really?
I always struggled with math. Now, in my defense, right from elementary school into high school, I struggled. I was never good at math. Numbers are not my thing. I'm a written person. I'm a verbal person.
Yeah, but see, if that was AI,
Yeah,
if that was AI teaching you, they would have been more supportive.
correct. And maybe he wouldn't have been so mean. Now,
Yeah,
the reason I bring it up is because this article also caught my attention. So, math student builds a fusion reactor using Claude AI and $2,000.
That's it.
And
Devin did that
and-
last week.
I know it's true. He does that with his Chrome PC. It's
Well,
plastic.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
at least an 8 on the math scale. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I,
Yeah,
think,
this is
I
easy
believe
stuff.
he did it in the Pixel Pub while having a
Yes.
few
Mhm.
pints.
This is true. This is true.
It was more of like a carbonation reactor, but you know,
There
it
you go. There you
tasted
go.
good either way.
You know what I love about this article is that the kid did this in his bedroom, spending $2,000 on some off-the-shelf parts he ordered online. And he made a fusion reactor. Now, I don't know about you guys, but as a university student who's, jacked up on ramen noodles and fucking Red Bull, making a fusion reactor in their bedroom does not sound like a very good
Do
idea.
you know what I'm picturing in my mind when you're reading this or showing this article to us is when Iron Man, when he made the new
Yeah.
new
The-
chess
the
piece and he's
chess
like
piece,
moving
yeah.
things and like breaking his house apart with sledgehammers. That's what I imagine this kid did in his dorm.
Now,
room.
look, I'm
Yeah.
all for it. I get it. I love the idea. He did it. He managed to achieve plasma in 4 weeks. I have no idea what that means because I don't know what a fucking fusion reactor does. But
sound
there's a
safe.
picture of the kid here, right? So University of Waterloo.
Okay.
I won't tell you what country that's located in because I believe it's Canada. He created a mini fusion that resembles an actual, I don't know what that is, tokamak, and hooked it up to a humble 12-volt neon sign transformer for power.
Are
So he
you
bought
serious?
a neon sign off of Temu or fucking whatever eBay and decided to try to create a fusion reactor from this.
Wow.
With zero hardware experience too. To quote the article.
Listen, AI, YouTube, you can make anything if you
Oh,
watch
God.
videos. You can rebuild a motor if you watch videos. You can build anything you want. You really can.
I
This I would
fucking-
try.
No, I wouldn't.
I'd be with Devin. I'd probably have to have a few pints and maybe some carbonation reactors.
Now, okay, forgive me if I'm ignorant about the world of science, but isn't a fusion reactor like one of the key components in like an atom bomb?
I think
Doesn't
there's
that,
different
like, have
types.
time?
I think that's an overgeneralization.
Okay.
As the utmost leader in Scientology, no, I'm just kidding. Scientific research, I have no idea.
Oh, this is
I'm
scary.
sorry.
This is scary. He admitted on X that he had to hunt down and seal multiple tiny leaks to ultimately achieve a vacuum of 25 millionths of an atmosphere. That is absolutely terrifying.
Well, and maybe that's really small, and I'm not. I mean, it's obviously small.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a proof of concept at that size. I don't know.
You know what I imagine? I imagine him chewing gum and just putting it along the seal
Yeah.
of the guys.
Yeah.
All right, oh shit, I've run out of glue. Oh, I'm just gonna use this paste from elementary school and just put it
Now, if
around
you
the
said
seal.
in the next paragraph, he used the fusion reactor to create a Ghostbusters gun to capture
Yes.
ghosts, then we would have to have him drug tested, maybe make sure he's okay. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, it's an impressive article. Like to do
is.
it in 4 weeks, that's pretty fucking impressive.
with no hardware experience.
Yeah, no hardware experience
Wow.
whatsoever. This
So
kid's
he's,
just
he's
woke up.
obviously an intelligent kid. He's probably one of those kids, or I should say guy,
Kid,
that
yeah.
picks up stuff like that. He can read an article or watch something, and it's kind of like people who play guitar by ear. Like they
Yes.
can't read notes, but they can play any song listen to. That's probably what he is. Like it's crazy.
That's a great segue, Jason. Well done. It's almost
You're
like we
welcome.
had a run. Oh, Sam's backstage. Sorry, we'll bring him in. Hey, Sam, how's it going? Sorry,
we
we
were
didn't see
ignoring
you.
you. I promise.
Fine. I would ignore me. To be honest.
Well, what's funny? No, I heard it. I heard a bleep, and I'm like,
Yeah, and I
don't
couldn't
see
see it. I
anything.
was like, yeah.
So
I thought you were putting another
real-
video up.
That's bringing things together. What
Yes.
we're talking about is fission. That's blowing things up. That's your atom bomb.
Oh,
nuclear,
okay.
plutonium, uranium. That
See?
requires. You ain't doing that in your basement with a bunch of Timu parts and stuff. And if you do, homeboy at Waterloo University is going to detonate the whole damn university. So that's not going to happen.
Yes.
Fission reactors are
See,
a little
this
bit
is
more
why we-
complicated than fusion. Yeah, it's okay.
This is why we needed Sam on the show. Because
Yeah,
this
he's
is
a
a
resident
fact check.
intelligent person.
Yes. Now, Jason brought up music, and another article out this week about
I'm
a
gonna
guy
sing
that
a
made
Celine
off
Dion song.
a guy that made off with millions of dollars using
Yes.
AI-made music. So, Michael Smith, that's a fake name if I ever heard one.
Oh,
before,
yeah.
but let's just go with that for now. Could face 60 years in prison because he uploaded hundreds of thousands of AI-generated songs to different streaming services and used bots to play them billions of times. He's said to have received $10 million back in 2017, and now he's been nailed for, I guess, being fake.
So is this one of the situations where he let it go too far and got caught and was greedy? Because I could see this being short term, making a couple million. And I'm not trying to make anybody seem like they should be a criminal, but like it sounds like he was greedy. And from 2017 to now, that's a long time.
$10 million is a lot of coin for fake music. And I appreciate the hustle, if I'm being honest. I know I'm not condoning this kind of behavior, but that's a nice chunk of change for.
So let me get this straight. We've learned today that AI can not only replace teachers, i.e. Darren's job, but they can also make us $10 million as long as we don't get caught.
They can also help you create fusion reactors.
Fusion, yes. What I love about this is, so he's been charged
Hold on 1
with
second.
what?
Gemini, make me fake music and sell it. Thank you.
I'm going to check the test out in a second. Wire fraud conspiracy, money laundering conspiracy. And it's apparently the first criminal case that concerns the use of bots to artificially inflate music streaming numbers. So this is like a first in the legal space. Now, here's the question.
There's got to be so many precedents that they can take for something like this, because as soon as you say like, I mean, that's clearly fraud. Like you're getting paid for listens, but they're not real listens. It's clicking your own Google ads on your website, like to get
you
paid
can't do that.
Clicks.
I'm just kidding.
Well, so I wanted to bring up another side idea here for a second. So, okay, this guy's using bots to boost up numbers of fake music.
Correct.
But I don't know if you remember, a couple of years ago, they had an article come out, and I think I've just got it here, about celebrities buying likes and follows on their social media. And they had a list of the most egregious offenders. And I think Katy Perry at the top was at the top of that. So about 30% of her 187.6 million followers were fake. So now I'm not
How many? What's the percentage?
30%
Ooh,
of.
that's pretty significant.
Yeah. So
Wow.
now we're not going to. We won't repeat what's in the image there, but the whole. It's a big concept. It's a big idea because it's not the first time that celebrities have been nailed. Like Nicki Minaj, Khloe Kardashian, a lot of these big celebrities buy these follows and likes to boost up their Instagram rating, I guess we'll call it. Now, what's the difference between what this kid did and what they did? And why is he the one that's getting in trouble? AI generated music is fake music.
Yeah, but you're not making money directly off those fake
but
those fake
no, but the
followers.
celebrities would.
Well, I mean, but it's not. See, if you make a song and you get royalties from that song by playing it, you're getting it directly from the song that you created. Like I'm on X, and I don't know how many in the past like month. I probably had 50 people that have like subscribed to me or followed me, and when I click on them, they have no followers and like 4,000. I mean, it's like something's not right. They're probably bots, and I'm not paying for them, but they're not going to interact with me at all. So that would boost my numbers, but it's not going to help me. So I think that's the difference. They can buy followers or make bots, but they're not going to make money directly off those. Now, if they have endorsements, that's different. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the legalities of that issue right there, but
I think this would really come down to the contracts that you're actually signing with like brand deals and stuff. If you're promising 1 million completely organic, real engagements on your posts that you're making, and then you're buying 30% of those that aren't real, then it's not.
Darren, pretty much what I'm telling you is you gotta stop paying to follow. You gotta start paying me to follow you.
Well, look, I mean, I'm looking at this list here, and the first 7 make me laugh because I would argue that I don't want to follow those people.
But why would they need to? They've got so many followers already.
Here's the other question: like these people are saying that like these are fake followers on these profiles. Are they specifically claiming that these celebrities have bought all of these fake followers?
Apparently, I think they've gone and done their like diligent, like their research to find, like I guess there's a way they know, right? So it's being
that percentage
verified.
has been purchased.
Let me rephrase what I said.
Yeah,
these people making money, making music. I guess Khloe Kardashian has got her fingers in a lot of things, no pun intended. But I mean, they're making money off a lot of different things. Do they really? Why buy? I mean, it must be a popularity thing. It has to be.
It's a popularity.
It's not money. It's more popularity based. It has to be because they're making so much money other ways. I mean, like
you know what it is?
Sam's making money off his social engagement, right?
This is true.
Sam actually, I made €6 today, but actually, I think they're going to take most of it. So.
That's €6. That's pretty good.
Anyway, so I think the distinction here is Katy Perry is Katy Perry. So she's not selling something that she didn't create. Her image and her likeness and her music is her own. She's paying for engagement. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Fake Name Dude, that's not his music. It was completely fabricated, and he purposely did it with the intention to get to
money,
basically, to defraud. That's where the wire fraud comes in. He's purposely trying to defraud. Katy Perry is not trying to defraud. She is Katy Perry. She's just trying to generate likes. Again, is it legal? Apparently not, because if that's the case, everybody on this list is going to probably face some charges. But I think the difference is that the gentleman who made the music, that wasn't that. Now, if he had made that music and then purchased ways to bot out trying to, still probably, and again, it's $10 million, and that's a guy you never heard of. Katy Perry's not going to federal prison.
No.
Nobody on that list is going to federal prison because they're millionaires and billionaires. They're not going to federal prison. And not
you
for
just
that.
brought up a really, really good point. I wonder if they're going to mention in that case at all. I assume that case is mostly the, like, he defrauded and had all of these fake listens to his music again. But I wonder if that is actually going to play into this case at all, and they're going to talk about the implications of generative AI, and is that even his own music to be able to
does he own that music?
Correct.
Because I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, because there's no precedent set.
AI is such a gray area right now. It's hard to say.
Well, I guess he could say that he could make the argument that Well, I guess he could. If I was his attorney, I'd probably make the free use argument, right? And like I said,
Yes.
it's not copyrighted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But again, if he would have made the AI and put it on there and saw if it got organic engagement, and then but his job was to make AI to purposely defraud Spotify, and that's where he gets into legal trouble, right?
Yeah.
That's intent, right?
So let's take the AI out of the equation here. If he actually wrote his own music, let's just say he recorded
the lyrics,
1,000 tracks by himself, just him like strumming a guitar, whatever. It doesn't even matter. But then still built a bot to go in and
do the likes.
It's still against the law because he's making money off.
Yes, exactly. Right. Like that's illegal. Or
well,
at least
I think he's.
That's his.
Well, that's an argument. It's an interesting legal argument, but I mean, without precedent. But if I were the attorney, I'd probably argue the fact that at least in the Katy Perry situation, it's interesting to see. But like, I think again, it's if he would have made like 30 grand or 40 grand, it's quiet, right?
Yeah.
But what always gets people in trouble is the fact that you keep stealing money, you keep robbing houses, you keep robbing.
Do you want to know what the issue is?
Right? Yeah.
Katy Perry's never going to go to prison because she's hot. That's it. Hot people don't go to jail.
That's
what happens.
I mean, she's not hot. But she can go to prison.
Well, I mean, Martha Stewart went to prison, and I'm sure she's somebody's cup of tea, right? So
Well, this is a good segue because me and Darren are actually releasing our first studio album.
It's true. Yeah, it's just me humming the whole time.
What the hell am I doing?
You're just clapping in the background. Like a slow
get the cowbell. I got the cowbell.
A set of maracas. That's all you need.
Now, this actually brings up a good question because I wanted to ask you all. I saw there's an article that came out this week about a company that's releasing a new pair of headphones. So, Jason, I'm going to ask you, everyone, all going to ask all three of you, what's the most you would pay for a premium pair of headphones, ones that you would wear all day?
So does it matter like over the ear, in ear?
Yeah, over the ear headphones.
So I haven't owned.
If money was not an option.
Yeah, I usually don't use over the head earphones. But the last ones I bought that were expensive were about $299. And that was that's about my limit. And they were the Sony. I want to say what are they at? 5 or 6 right now? 5?
Yeah, 5,
I think they were the 3s or the 4s I had before, and they were amazing. I run a lot and I'm active, so I use earbuds a lot.
Yeah,
I don't use it, but when I had those, that's
so okay. $299. Okay, Devin, a ballpark number you wanted to buy a good pair of headphones.
I paid $150 for these, and like I'm super excited about them. I love music, and I am completely fine with spending some money to get really good quality. But I mean, at this point, I know that this $149 can get me some really, really good quality. Like, I don't think I would spend a ton more, probably that $199. But if I tried something, if I was like, oh my God, if I tried it, this is the most comfortable thing I've ever had, the best sound I've ever heard. I mean, I could probably spend, probably
but
that
Devin,
$300.
What if they had a mask that went across your face, pumped in fresh air? I got a pair of biopsy right now. I still have them.
No. That's
Sam,
a big
what about
zero.
It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm listening to music and it's like lossless audio and I want a pair of like high impedance or really high end, I'd spend $1,000. I spent about $500 years and years ago buying a pair, and then my buddy saved the whole summer and spent about $4,000 on a pair of Klipsch speakers. But this is like literally 30 years ago. For good audio, depending on what I'm listening to. Yeah, I mean, if I find a really pair of nice high impedance headphones, I'll go $1,000 on them.
Well, it's interesting, Darren. Before you go any further, so Sam brought up a good point because, like, I have a pair of wired. Remember, I had that Moondrop. With an amplifier, and I had some. They're mono price, but they were planar speakers. They were closed, and they were like, I didn't pay this much, but list price they were like $500, but they were wired, and they were amazing. They didn't have deep bass, but they were just clear. And like going back to Sam, I had Tidal with the lossless audio, and they were amazing. But I thought we were focusing more on like Bluetooth. So, $300 is probably my max, and I probably wouldn't.
The reason I bring it up because I mean, Dyson had their headphones come out, and I think from top of my memory, the most recent those Dyson ones that came out was $699. I think $799. The non-mask ones.
No, the ones with the switchable Those were like
Yes.
$4.99 here in the US, I think.
Right, okay, so let's say that. So the reason I bring it up is because I saw this today, and I'm not sure who's going to buy it.
Oh,
So
that's B&O. I mean, come on.
B&O, okay, so they are known for high-end headphones, but $15.49 is the cost of a decent smartphone / folding phone. And they're asking people to shell out that kind of money for their H100 headphones. Now, I would never spend that much on headphones. I love music too, but one thing I've realized in doing what I do is that usually the cheaper ones sound better than more expensive ones.
Now, hold on. B&O makes some pretty good stuff.
Yes,
now,
and
I
said
wouldn't pay that price either, but I'll be honest with you, you wait a couple years. I know B&O has some headphones that came out a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, that were Bluetooth. They're like $149.
Now, okay, so I think where the money is being spent here is on the design. So I'll read it to you. Lambskin leather ear pads, aluminum and knitted cloth, scratch-resistant glass touch interface on the outside of the ear cups. There is, I love their description here, a solid sheen of aluminum, softness of leather, and cold to the touch glass.
Yeah, it's how you read it. You got to read it.
Yeah, I know. The inner headband and ear pads are both detachable, so you can replace them with, I guess, another $400 investment. As far as sound goes, so it's high resolution 40 millimeter drivers, 96 hertz 24-bit tunes support for, Dolby Atmos, head tracking if you're into it.
Dolby Atmos, is that pretty common in wireless headphones? I don't know.
Kind of, maybe.
I mean, Dolby stuff is, but I don't know what Dolby Atmos. That's different.
And they have adaptive audio tech called EarSense that monitors the fit of the headphones and adjusts the sound profile in real time. ANC 10 microphones.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so I mean, so there's some stuff going into this. I understand what they're trying to do here. They're trying to bring like this is the fucking shit. This is like the AirPods Max of, music headphones.
So MKBHD is going to get a pair of these and say, why do these exist?
Exist, yes.
And why not buy something else?
Why not buy the AirPods Max? That's exactly right. That's exactly
he's a big fan of Sony too, so either one, yeah.
So now that you know the specs, does that change, or is it still... No, it's enough for me either. I just don't see it.
I mean, if I was I'd have to hear them, but with Bluetooth, you're not going to get lossless sound. You got to have wired. I mean, let me rephrase that. You can't get a version of lossless, what they call it, but wired is always your best bet, at least in my opinion. And I'm not an audiophile, but wireless, you always have some kind of degradation with sound, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's like Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is never going to be as fast as wired. At least not
right.
No,
and that's exactly right. I mean, again, it depends. I see if you were really into music, like if music was your jam, if you were a producer, if you were an aspiring musician, fucking piano player, something, maybe. But for the everyday person, Devin, is this someone going to buy these for the everyday person?
No. No, I mean, I've definitely gotten to the point in my life where if I can afford the nicer thing, I usually go for that because I know that it's going to last longer. I know that if I'm spending, 8 hours a day, like using my mouse and keyboard, I buy a pretty expensive mouse and keyboard now, right? So like I could see this is a little bit out of my price range,
very
but
extreme,
it's a bit out of mine too. So yeah. I mean, they look nice.
Yeah, but let me get this. Like Sam said, or not this Sam and me. Like if I'm going to buy studio headphones, they usually plug in. You're paying a couple $1,000s. I don't know if I could spend over $1,000 for something that's just. I mean, they may have a wired option. I don't know. Some do.
Well, I mean, $1,595 is like $8,000 Canadian. So I'm definitely not fucking buying that shit. But
that's kidney level prices right there.
Yeah. What about you, Sam? Buy or no?
I don't know if I would buy for 15, maybe 1,000. I probably would. And again, this gets into this argument that I have, and I tell people this is a dangerous place to live because you might not think these have value, but you're willing to spend $1,500 on a phone or $1,000 on a phone, and you buy 1, 2, 4, 10, 15 price. No, I'm not trying to be pointed here. I'm trying to say is you find value in that investment.
Yeah.
There are people that will spend $300,000 on a GTR Mustang, right? They've only made 1,000, like, they only made a 1,900 of them. People will spend $300,000 on a high-end sports car.
Yeah.
And remember, when we started this conversation, you said price was not an object.
Yeah. So
if that's the condition, right, then you really can't make that argument that doesn't have value for you. And I agree with Jason 100%. Tuna's right. Yeah. I would say if you're going to be spending that kind of money, you want high-end P&C, you want a cable. However, to tell somebody, well, I don't think this is worth it, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't spend the money on because I don't really need that kind of material design.
Yeah.
When I buy a car, I have a Mustang, but I didn't buy a GT 500 or a GT 350 because I don't need all that stuff. And I'm not buying a car that's got lambskin and wood ingrain. But I've been in some cars that have that, and if you think that it's the same as your Toyota Camry, you're nuts. You're a crazy person, and you clearly don't know what that's like. And it's not really a brand, right? It's remember how this works is, if you're talking about when somebody tells you have a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, they don't tell you what the model of that car is. They just say they have a Bentley.
But yeah,
that's people who live outside of cost. They are willing to go to the ends of the earth and spend $10,000. And I've seen a lot of people that go on a vacation and they'll drop $6,000 on a vacation that you could probably do for half that because of the experience of the thing. That experience gives them value. And so again, $1,000 for these, no, but I can see that they probably won't sell a lot, but this is a high-end boutique niche kind of item. It's a luxury brand. And then there are people who want B&O headphones and may spend the money on it.
Yes,
I don't think they're not going to keep this at Best Buy. They're going to be flying off the shelves as fast as some Sennheisers.
No. Well, we talked about Apple. Apple being a very expensive brand, but they have the cachet where they can sell $500 headphones because you're already in the ecosystem. Now, B&O doesn't have, or BO, they don't have that cachet, like they don't have phones.
And the argument too is it's a lifestyle choice. All right, you're part of the clique, right? You have these nice headphones. Everybody sees you have the nice headphones, so you're not just buying the actual capability of the nice sound. You're actually buying the fact that these AirPods Max get you in that group of people who know, you're in that group. So you're buying also, you're buying some alignment to the brand as well. And some people may spend this. B&O are high end headphones, and they don't make any bones about it. Same thing with Bose. Bose are very high end headphones, and are they worth the money? I've had a pretty nice pair of Bose before, and they're pretty darn awesome. Good. Right. But again, it's hard talking about value for people when it comes to their money. I stay away from that kind of stuff because I wouldn't spend it.
The biggest issue I have is if your headphones don't have a filter and a mask, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. That's exactly right. Yeah.
They're not made by Dyson. They filter out the sound.
Think about it. You can vacuum with your Dyson while listening to your Dyson headphones.
Right. This is true. You can listen to Darren's humming in lossless 24-bit audio.
I know. And I hum pretty good. That sounded really good. Okay, so now you brought up cars, and I'm glad that you did, because right now IFA is on in Berlin, and I don't know if you caught some of the products that have been released there, but I want to show you one that got my attention. I'm just going to play it.
To make ownership more feasible. The Model A weighs about 850 pounds and can drive up to 35 miles per hour. This means legally the Model A is closer to a golf cart or dirt bike than an actual car. As far as driving goes, the Model A uses hub motors in all four wheels. These are electric motors that are integrated into the wheel hub, and it's similar to what is used in some electric bicycles and motorcycles. In this regard, the Model A is relatively simple in how it drives, and it has a driving range of about 200 miles per charge, given that it has a smaller battery than other electric cars. As for flying, the Model A is equipped with 8 independent propellers under the carbon fiber mesh. Model A is an eVTOL, meaning an electric vehicle that takes off and lands in a vertical motion, similarly to a helicopter. Once the vehicle is in the air, the body turns sideways so that it flies in a similar motion to a biplane. In order to turn, some of the propellers spin faster than others on one side.
Okay, hold on, Darren.
Yes.
I like that we're pushing the boundaries. We're trying to do this stuff, but that would never work in the U.S. because that body is not made for any kind of crash.
But I don't imagine, no.
And there's flying issues, licenses. I mean,
that's the biggest issue with.
It's gonna.
That's the biggest issue with.
Motor.
Yeah, with
okay.
with flying is all the legal requirements and stuff. Like you'd have to get a new license. You'd have to take all the classes before you could even lift up to get over that car wreck.
Devin, it's a concept. Come on.
Okay,
No, I
so-
get it. I love it too, but I'm just it's not one of those things. There's a reason we don't have flying cars yet. It's because all the legality around it.
So this company is called Aleph. I'm probably saying that wrong. But this, so they, yes. So here's the thing. I think they've had like 30,000 pre-orders or something insane like that. And so the basic concept of this is that at IFA, they're claiming this is the world's first flying car, real flying car. I should add that word there. Now, basically, if you're looking at the picture here, you're probably thinking that kind of looks like a car from the outside, but essentially what it is more like a hovercraft that gets you vertically in the air and then will turn and you fly
Hold on, Darren. Hold on. So
you just went to pre-order, didn't you?
I just pulled it up. It's $150 to pre-order.
Oh, okay.
Retail price is $300,000.
Oh my goodness.
But you can spend $150 to pre-order, or you can do priority pre-order for $1,500 and just pay the other $298,500 financed at 8%.
If money wasn't an object, no, I'm just kidding. Now,
it's a cool concept. It
is a cool idea. Like I a lot of the stuff
those
at
Tesla
IFA,
headlights.
They kind of look like Tesla headlights. That kind of looks a lot like a Tesla, actually. But
sort of, yeah.
What I'm getting at is it's not something we see every day at these like tech shows. We see prototype cars, electric vehicles, ones that the exterior can change with e-ink panels, but we have yet to see a real true flying car concept. Now this is pre-order. So this is like, it exists. It's like ready to be purchased. Now, I don't know how long the queue is. It doesn't say. I'm in the agreement, which is very small print, of course. It says nothing about the date. Basically, just, if you have any problems, don't come to us. But it's an interesting concept, and there were a lot of things at IFA that are kind of like tongue in cheek. They're never going to make it to the market, but this caught my attention because you could actually already pre-order. So they must already have a working, functioning prototype, and maybe, just maybe, some pieces of the puzzle in place for you to be able to maybe use this in everyday life. Probably not on real streets.
There's a lot of questions I have. So
yes,
vehicle-wise, what kind of motor does it have? Can it go 75 miles an hour? Can it go on city streets? Is it going to be crash tested that it can be driven in the U.S.?
Designed to drive on the street is what it says.
Street where?
I have no idea.
At a closed course and on a drag street? I mean,
I'm trying to find more information here. I'm wondering if... Oh, here we go. Okay.
So flying-wise, we know, like Devin said, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be one of those things where you have to go to like a closed field.
It is an American company.
They're California.
And then it says a flying car prototype just got its airworthy. I mean, nobody really, this is really uncharted territory, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And you don't really know if you need a full pilot's license because this isn't a fully functioning aircraft.
Right.
This is more like a VTOL, like a helicopter, almost like a kit helicopter, right? I mean, that's really kind of, so maybe that's more inappropriate. Maybe because of its design, maybe the FAA has to completely design in a totally different segment that requires a different, you don't really know. This isn't a Bulgarian company that realizes this is never going to come. This is an American company. I cannot imagine they would go that far through all this crap,
right?
And then go, but nobody's ever going to be able to use it.
But wait,
so 200 miles.
Yeah, but there's
200 miles. Yeah,
there's no issues with. Well, we don't know about the FFA, right? So basically, I could buy this and technically fly over an accident, which would be really piss people off. But there would be no regulations yet. But I got a feeling if this hit the market, regulations.
There are regulations. There's been airplanes for like 100 years now.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying with something
the airspace
like this, it's kind of like a drone helicopter plane mix. It's a bunch of mixtures of stuff.
And airspace, all of the air above us is regulated. You have to pay attention to those regulations.
No, Devin, we're here at Tech Instructors. We're above the law.
We are above the law.
I'm
Which
just
is true.
kidding.
No.
I'm totally kidding.
You can't be above the law. There is law above us. You have to abide by those laws.
Oh boy.
Well, and I
mean,
think that's also right. Why they're only doing $150 and 50. You know what I mean?
Correct.
That's easily refundable. So basically,
Right.
if they can't get clearance, if this doesn't work out, if the FAA says
it
no or
refundable?
then it's just like, here's your $150 back. Nice try. We tried.
I don't know.
Is it
150
refundable?
bucks.
a good
$150 to me is a really low. Everybody should pre-order one
yes.
so that we can get as much money for this as possible
Right.
before
Right.
we have to scrap it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't really answer a lot of questions. So I'm just
Yeah.
curious. And but it's cool. I mean, not for $300,000. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just a little.
Oh, I just bought 3 of them. So.
I
This is
mean,
true.
actually, I think a helicopter is probably cheaper. Just fly that every day.
yeah, for real. Get your
Now,
license to fly.
the big chatter at IFA has been the release as well of the Honor Magic V3. So the world's slimmest folding device. And from the reviews that have come out so far, I mean, I know right now it's still very early, but there are some people that have their hands on it. The review and the feedback's been pretty good. One of the things that caught my attention, and we were supposed to have Mike Average Dad on today, but he postponed. We would have him on next week, but he released a video this week saying something that got my attention and really made me think about foldables and thin foldables. And he said in his video that you kind of need something to hold on to. If it's too thin, it's hard to open. Right. And, I mentioned this, and I remember the original Google Pixel Fold, the generation 1. And I remember saying this to you, Jason, that I used to have a hell of a time trying to open that because the edges of the device were curved.
Right.
And I just couldn't get my fucking thumbs in there to open the fucking thing. So half the time I was just using the outer screen. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't hang on to it, because I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I could just buy a small phone and I'll be okay.
Mhm.
But so the Honor Magic V3 has gotten a lot of people talking, right? It's really, really thin. So 9.2 millimeters thick when folded and 4.4 millimeters thick when open. 4.4 millimeters.
Yeah.
Which is fucking nothing. Now, for those of you who have seen it, in videos and stuff, I mean, I'm sure this is not but to give you some context, the new Pixel 9 Pro Fold is 10.5 and 5.1.
And it's small too. It's
small too.
Darren,
It's
you
like,
have it, right?
I have it right here. I'm going to pull it out in just a second. Yeah.
It's thin. Don't pull it out. Just show us.
You don't want me to pull it out? Okay. My wife says the same thing every time.
Jesus.
Sorry. Oh, I know what I just did there. What did I just do? Hang on a second.
You know what's interesting? Talking about
Yeah.
thinness. So I don't understand this. Apple's got this rumor they're having an ultra thin iPhone. The
Yes.
Mac, the iPad is there was a time back in probably late 2000s where smaller was the cool thing. And we found out that was dumb, and now we're going bigger. I don't know if thinner is the answer either. I think companies are grasping for something to hold on to brag about. And thinness in a foldable, I get it, because when you fold it together, it's going to be a little bit thicker. But I think I think Mike makes a good point to Average Dad that you got to have something to hold on to. And the Pixel Fold is the one. I don't have the second one, but it's a good phone, and we have the Pixel Pro 9 XL, and it's a thicker phone. To me, but it feels substantial, and it's not like I'm gonna drop it and slide out of my hand. I think this thin, and this is my opinion. You guys can disagree if you want, but I think thin is not always the
better
something you want to brag about.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you look at this photo here, this is a Magic V3 side by side with an iPhone 14 Pro, and it's half the size of an iPhone 14.
But that's not folded. Is that unfolded or folded?
That's unfolded.
Right. Okay.
Now, I mean, look, I'm all for folding phones getting slimmer to get in your pocket, but we have to find that happy medium, right? Like, where does it fit where it doesn't feel bulky? And I think it's got more to do with weight than it does with girth.
Not just that though, camera sensors.
Yeah.
You need girth for good camera sensors. Yeah, you can use all the magic you want, but we all know the Pixel Fold, the new Pixel Fold, cameras are good, but they're not great.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I don't have it from experience, but what I've heard. Same with most foldables. Now the Open is a good, decent phone, but you know how thick that bump is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's girthy. So I have the Pixel Fold here, and I don't know if you can see
It's a thin device,
camera.
and it's beautiful looking. I will be honest.
So that's like about as thin as it's gonna be, and that's kind of.
What do you think of it? Do you like it? Uh-oh.
Okay, no, I don't mean it's not bad. No, so
Okay.
after having the Pixel 9 Pro XL, I am a little bit disappointed with the cameras. They're not bad, but they're not dramatically better than what we got last year.
Right.
It is an improvement. Don't get me wrong. It is better than the OG Folds cameras. The processing's better. The way it handles dark environments especially is better. The form factor is very OnePlus Open-ish. It's also heavy, but not as heavy as the OG Pixel Fold. It's probably, I want to say it feels, the OnePlus Open is definitely lighter. The iPhone 15 Pro Max is definitely lighter. This one, I would say, almost feels like two, maybe, well, I guess this is what it was meant to be, two Pixel 9s strapped together. Maybe weight-wise, which I think is what they were going for.
But doesn't weight make it feel like it's a better device?
It does. Listen,
Could be
there's
wrong.
absolutely nothing wrong with the device. Fold it up, you can kind of...
Man, that's tiny. That's really thin folded up, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. No, and listen, in the pocket, it feels fantastic. But the minute that you are not a crazy person and you decide to put a case on it, and this is... So I bought a Caseology case, this one of these ones right here.
Mm-hmm.
The minute I put it on there, it reminds me of OG Pixel Fold. It feels, and you know, it's funny, and I've had this happen to me a few times now where I've had it in the case and I've had it on my desk and I pick it up. It's very reminiscent of the Passport style OG Pixel Fold. I know that sounds crazy because it is taller, but the thickness with a case on feels very similar to what it did last year.
Okay.
Now, I mean, you can use a slim case. Obviously, you can use a skin, and that would probably make a big difference. But it is just as fluid as the Pixel 9 Pro XL.
That inner screen looks beautiful in what I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, I'll show you. I mean, this is just... I mean, it's
going to Sam, like, having the Duo, like the separate screen, I think is a benefit because folding a screen is going to have its limitations. It's going to have its repairability issues. But that Pixel, I mean, I'm not going to buy one. I can't do it. I had the Fold 1. I'm going to hang on to it.
Yeah.
I'll
be honest with you, and I think I posted this earlier in the week. I like the 9 Pro XL better. It feels better in the hand, and the cameras are better. And for me,
did we say this about the 8 Pro XL or the 8 Pro and the Pixel Fold? It was a unique. The Pixel Fold was a great first start, but it had limitations. But the cameras just, if you want good cameras, you got to get the candy bar style.
But you know what? And just to give context here, sorry, I know Devin and Sam probably want to say something. I'm just keep jumping in, but coming from the Vivo X100 Pro. Like comparably, even the 9 Pro XL cameras aren't good. And I think that phone has ruined my notion of what like a good camera can be. And nothing matches up to that. And I may have fucked my entire smartphone buying purchases from here until the end of time.
And the X200 next year won't be as good.
No, well, that's exactly what happened with the Honor, right?
Yes,
the Honor Magic 5 Pro. We gave it our product of the year last year. The Honor Magic 6 Pro came out and it was fucking hot garbage. Yeah. So it can sometimes go that way, right? So
Devin, why are you laughing? Okay, hold on. Devin's laughing. What are we laughing about here?
No, I just think that's funny. I think it's funny.
I think what we have as a consumer is we have such a great expectation. Like tomorrow, Apple is going to release the 16, and I'll be honest with you. From what I've read, meh. I don't think it's much of an upgrade from the 15 Pro because AI is not going to be ready yet. I know we're kind of segueing into that, but my kids watch YouTube all the time. Not all the time, but when they do watch it, someone was talking about the 15 Pro Max versus it was Mr. Who's the Boss. You know, he made that super big, and he had like DSLR cameras in it and everything.
Yeah.
Which it led to other videos, and someone actually said they had the 15 Pro Max, and the guy goes, "Oh, the 16 comes out in a couple weeks," and he goes, "Oh, it's gonna be the next hottest thing ever." And I think as consumers, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I honestly
16 Pro. It's gonna be the best thing since sliced bread, and whether you like it or not, it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I think
someone
it's just one of
posted
those
on
things
X.
where we just gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone posted on X today, and I'm trying to find the post. I think it was like Apple Leaks or something. I think that might be the username. Oh, right here. So this is what. So this is an alleged Apple leaker, I guess is the way to put it. So they're saying larger 6.3 and 6.9 sizes, which we knew, right, for the Pro and the Pro Max phone. OLED displays, haptic solid state button. So there is a camera shutter button. And I can confirm that because I've already received some cases and there's a weird cutout on the side. I'm assuming that's what it is. There is allegedly a new capture button, an A18 Pro chip. They're saying that a new 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. The smaller Pro model will get the 5x telephoto. Along with the bigger sibling, Wi-Fi 7 support, and then, of course, all of the AI features. That's from a very reliable source, apparently.
Interesting.
To be honest with you, nothing there that really kind of goes, wow, this is going to be amazing. I'll just spend another $2,000 on a device.
Yeah, but here, and I think we've talked about this before, and I can't speak for Sam or Devin, but again, we are outside the norm. Like we test a lot. At least I buy a lot of phones. I test a lot of phones, mostly Android devices because there's so many different manufacturers. I do have 15 Pro Max. It's okay. I like it, but I prefer other things. But I think the general consumer is gonna wait till their carrier is ready for them to upgrade.
Yep,
and
100%.
if they have a 13 or a 14 and they have a 2-year, 3-year cycle, they're gonna jump on this because guess what? When they open it up, it's going to be the same exact experience they've had before, and they can brag and say, but I got the most powerful phone in the world to them.
Yeah.
You know, the Pixel is getting rave reviews, the 9.
Yes, 100%.
People are saying it's Android device of the year, and that's what we got to separate ourselves. Is Pixel better than Google, or is Pixel better than iPhone? Or iPhone? Who cares?
Yeah.
You got to figure out which OS you prefer, and then you pick which phone you like.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree. Yeah, and I mean, look, every year we have the same thing come around, and we always say the same thing about the iPhone models. If you have, should you be upgrading yearly? Probably not.
No.
There's not a lot of changes year to year. Usually a 2-year cycle is a better upgrade, 2 to 3 years even.
Well, hell, carriers in the U.S. are now doing 3-year terms. Because they're getting so out of
and crazy. And I mean, I don't know if we're going to see. There's no talks of there being a price change, but I hope not. Shit has been going up. When it comes to like this kind of stuff. But basically, new iPhone 16 and 16 Pro. I think they're saying there's going to be there is. So new Apple Watch Series 10 and Apple Watch Ultra 3 are in the mix. I think I read somewhere a couple of months back that because it's the 10th anniversary of the Apple Watch, that they're saying that they might bring back the ceramic version, which I don't know if you remember all the way back to Series 1 or Series 0.
Have a round version.
No way. Kidding. Not going to happen. No, not with Samsung got that market cornered. But yeah, they're saying they might bring back the ceramic version from Series O. I think it might have been the very first
It's getting
one.
Released tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's the event?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least they're announcing it.
Like I don't know.
My question is, so here's what I want to know, and we talked about this before. Are they going to have any of the AI features out of the box?
No. Well, they're going to have a few, but they've already said it's going to be delayed. And Apple's never done something like this. It's usually Samsung, Google, hey, like Android 15. Why the hell did Android
we have it
come
yet?
out without 15? So I think Android is just, we're used to that.
Yeah.
And I think this is why look, Apple's making tons of money. They are not hurting. They're a $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
But I think they're scrambling to find their footing in the AI race. slab phones can only go so far. Folding phones can only go so far. Tablets, whatever. I think, and this is my opinion. Everyone's going to have their opinion. But I think with AI, they're just not ready. The Vision Pro was kind of like a leap, and it wasn't what they wanted, but they had to push something out. Yeah. I think if they would do the Apple thing and just sit back and wait and do the right thing, I think they're scrambling, and I think they're going away from what their recipe is. That's my opinion.
Now, let me ask you just a quick question. Have any of you downloaded the 18 public beta?
Yes. I got developer beta.
Okay. So I downloaded the public beta because I'm not crazy like that. But
it's not my main phone.
Siri is lightning fast now.
Yes.
On the public beta, like crazy fast, like much faster than Gemini.
Yeah, but Gemini is really fast on Samsung devices too.
Yeah.
Faster than Pixel.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I was shocked. Like I was doing a side-by-side today with Gemini and the iPhone because it updated. And I was like, what's the weather in Toronto? Siri, absolutely fucking half a second, maybe. And the Gemini took about 3 seconds to kind of pull it up and get it all the details there. But I was shocked at how far Siri has come.
Yeah, but
and how
Siri
quick
has always been quick at pulling quick information. It's detailed
faster.
Information. Right, faster and the right information is different. Like,
well, I think
Google
that's where the AI
themselves on quality, not quantity.
Yeah. But I think that's where the AI stuff might pop in there, right? Once that's integrated, I wonder how fast it's going to be to access that.
They got faster processors right now.
Well, right now, yeah.
Until next year, supposedly.
It's true. So, I mean, look, big week this week. Apple's yearly iPhone releases. Devin already has it. He's been using it for a month, just checking it out and seeing what's happening.
I can confirm it is the shit, actually.
It is a shit. Well, that's right. If it ain't Apple,
it ain't.
Shit, that's right. There we go. Sam, how do you feel about the final thoughts on the iPhone release cycle?
Gonna go back about 10 minutes. Surface Duo is 4.8 millimeters.
That's right. I brought it up.
There you go. Yep.
9.9 folded. So, dual screens are always better than foldables. Depending on what you want to do. If you want to do multitasking, dual screen's better. I don't multitask. Duo forced you to multitask, and it wasn't a spanning phone, right? That wasn't the jam. So dual durability, usability, multi-screen, Duo's never going to be beat as far as I'm concerned. Thin's great. I don't really care. I have a Fold 5. I don't put a case on it. It doesn't matter. I've never used a case on it. And back to the iPhone, my wife will be upgrading. She has a 12. And it's getting a little kind of wonky.
Sense.
It gets kind of wonky. She's complaining about it. So once she starts, for a woman who doesn't really care much about this stuff and just it works. When she starts bitching about stuff not working, cameras not working, and being general. Now, has she ever factory reset the phone? No, because she's not doing that. So those kind of right. And the battery, obviously, because we were going to replace the battery because it's like down to 68% the capacity is walked out. She charges. Whatever. Yeah, I get it. She doom scrolls and then she burns the battery. And she's got the regular 12, not the big Pro Max or anything. So.
Yeah.
iOS 18 is fine. I still don't like iOS. Generally, navigation is just not as good. I don't have an iPhone. I have a work phone, and that they don't let me just upgrade betas on it because it's a work device. So it'll be good. I mean, I think it'll be nice. It'll be the best iPhone. Like the 15 was the best iPhone. Like the 14 was the best iPhone. And if you can upgrade every year and you want to do that, go for it. Do you really need to? No. And most people aren't. Most people are going to keep their 13s, their 12s, their 14s, their 15s.
Yeah.
And I don't even think, even if they have an upgrade cycle, like if they pay for Next Up or whatever stuff, I think most general consumers at a carrier store, like my wife and my parents and the people who have iPhones, they're not upgrading for that. I mean, they're just not going to. I still maintain real quick that phone companies should, unless they're coming something radically different, they should go to a 2-year cycle. I really think that would be more appropriate for them, but they're not going to. And I don't like the new Pixel Fold design. I like the old Passport design of the original. I wish they would have kept that. For me, I like that design better. I don't dislike the 9 Pro Fold, but I kind of like the old Passport. I like the original OG Fold design a little better. The improvements are nice, but you're not going to get – it's really going to be hard. You're going to sacrifice camera on a foldable. Sorry, that's just the way it's going to be. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're paying $1,900 for the foldable. You're not paying for the camera. If a camera is your jam, don't get a foldable. I mean, it's just – I don't think companies are going to do that unless you want to spend $2,500 Then you can get the pro
Listen,
model
Yeah,
of the
but
camera. And the same
$2,500 in
model.
Canada is like $18,000.
Well,
This is
that's not
true.
even real money. It's like Monopoly money. It's like it might be 30 grand. You know, they don't know up there. That's not even Canadian
Listen.
money. It's like real. That's like maple syrup. That's what they charge up there. It's
I would rather spend my $1,500 on a fucking pre-order flying car
right.
than have to upgrade to the same phone again. That's all I'm going to
Because
say.
Darren's just going to fly around
very
Toronto. There's
true.
no laws. It's Canada. I can fly wherever.
Fuck
I don't
you
care.
guys.
I'm going to fly to Nunavut. Forget it. I'm out of here. See you. Right? Yeah. It's
And
okay.
then news article will be Canadian Australian flies into the CN Tower.
Well,
and
what
fucking knocks
I guess
me
my
over.
question is, when it
Yes,
comes to a
yes.
flying car, look how people can't parallel park, and you're going to
Oh
use
my
a flying
God.
vehicle.
Yeah.
There's going to be a whole lot more fatalities,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, if it's going to thin the herd, I'm kind of here for it. I think that's we should just give cars away.
Awards?
Oh,
The
The
Darwin
Darwin
Awards?
Awards, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
just think of how bad the average driver is, and remember,
Mhm.
statistically, 50% of people are worse drivers than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
flying cars is going to. Oh man, population
No.
problem. No
electric
problem. We're done.
vehicles and these new vehicles have ruined drivers
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
It does
oh, it's
everything
okay.
for you.
It's
okay.
Everything for
But
you.
it's
You don't have to
going to be
drive
interesting
anymore.
to see. I like it. I'm here for it, but not for 300 grand. If I had that kind of money, I'm not buying a flying car. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 300 grand, I'm gonna buy maybe 3. I was gonna buy 4, but that's
Too
pushing it,
much.
you know?
Yeah,
I also think that this would be a whole lot more like I was reading one of the articles here about it because this is actually super interesting to me. I love flying stuff. I love this kind of stuff, but the idea that they were talking about it being an obstacle avoider. He talked the
yeah.
CEO talked about it as like small hops. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
No,
Like why do I need to like
Think about it.
hop on down
Think about
to
it.
like
A cop
wherever
pulls you over
here?
like, peace out, boop.
yeah.
And then that's
Come
okay.
get me, buddy.
They'll just radio to where you're gonna land and have
Yeah.
guys there, and then they're gonna have
Yeah.
guns to shoot you in the face.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
cool, right? That's
But,
okay.
like,
That's the
but
beauty
if
of a
I
flying
could-
car. They can get a radio that goes farther than where you're
Right.
gonna
Yeah,
fly to. Right.
true.
But if I could buy that and drive, and instead of driving the 7 hours back to my parents' place, I could just fly,
Yeah.
and it's 3 hours.
Maybe. Yeah.
That might be
get it.
worth.
Yeah.
That might be
Look.
worth the 300 grand. Like I don't know. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
I know it's the end of the. I'm gonna do a real quick PSA, and I gotta get a little serious here. So I had a family member who got in a motorcycle accident a couple days ago. Pretty
Oh.
bad.
Sorry.
Broken ribs, broken arm, leg, shoulder. Gonna have multiple surgeries. If you are riding a motorcycle, wear a damn helmet. He wore a helmet. He was good, but
Yeah.
just talking about vehicles, I need to
100%.
put that out there because that was one of the things that
Yeah,
happened
I
over the
lost
weekend for
I
me.
lost my
and-
cousin last year to a motorcycle
Yeah.
crash, and I was a police officer for 10 years, and I worked a lot of motorcycle fatalities. Basically, it's not crashes. I mean, literally fatalities. And I'm just telling you, if they don't call them donor cycles for a reason, and there's two kinds of operators, right? Ones that are going to dump them, and ones that are dumping them. And I'm telling you, when you have that kind of speed, I don't care how protective you are. Also, other drivers don't see cars, much less bikes. It just, I'm sorry. I mean, I like them. I think they're great, but they are just, it's bad. It's not.
And I hate to be so
I hate
down.
it.
like a
No,
Debbie
and
Downer at the end.
I hope you're
He's fine. It worked out.
Your
it
family
worked
member's
out
better
good.
than my cousin because
Yes.
he hung on for about a month and then he probably passed. So
The
I mean,
information I heard is that without the helmet, he
Well,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't be here. You know,
So,
a 500-pound bike,
just-
900-pound bike
yeah.
lands on
yeah,
you. It's not good.
just be careful, folks. Just obviously operate your vehicle safely and pay attention if you're in a car. Pay attention for motorcycles and bicyclists as well. Obviously, Johnny Gaudreau, right?
Yeah.
I mean, can we
Yeah.
talk? Yeah, I mean, seriously, just try to be aware of your surroundings when you're driving and be safe. It's not in a hurry. Just
Especially if you have a
yourself.
flying car or a
especially if you have
motorcycle.
a made out of carbon fiber mesh. I don't know.
Yeah.
And also, here's the thing too: is when your car runs out of gas, it just stops on the ground. When your flying vehicle has a failure in a propeller,
No. This might have an
Pretty
ejection
serious.
suit. They may have an ejection suit.
there's this ball of globe flying down in the air like a it's the globe. It disconnects
Perfect
and
picture.
it floats.
Yes.
And like I just said, I was reading the article, and the CEO of the company says this is for small hops to avoid obstacles. And then their
They're
image
flying
is
it through
showing them.
they're flying it through the Grand Tetons.
Yeah.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, the
small hop.
small obstacle of the mountains and
Yes.
the
Small
forest.
hop.
The small
Damn,
obstacle
damn
is
you,
trees,
nature.
and it's literally 40 miles to the other place where there's actually like a clearing. Not even a road, not a bunch of trees. Good time.
Anyway,
That's
well,
awesome.
listen,
Love it.
if you want to pre-order the Aleph flying car, go to their website. And
Bill and a half,
feel free.
man. Or
Yeah.
Or if you wanna-
$350 in Canadian money, whatever that is.
If you
Yeah.
want to, if you want to pre-order me and Darren's solo our debut
Album,
album,
yeah, it's on Spotify.
yes,
Yeah, it's
Humming the hits. I love it.
humming the hits.
with
yeah.
the cowbell.
With the cowbell. You know what? That might become a bestseller. You never know.
Right.
You're
But
right.
on that
I
note,
wait
Nowadays.
until the AI generated version of your guys' album.
I'm going to so be pulling that together. Anyway, on that
work on
note,
it.
that actually brings us to the end of our 30th episode of the Tech Disruptors podcast. We've been doing this for 30 years. No, just kidding. 30 episodes. We look like we've been doing it for 30 years, but don't worry.
It wears on you. Get
It
it?
wears on you. But we will be back next week with another great episode and all your latest and greatest tech stories, news, and everything in between. Thank you very much to Sam, Devin,